like she gained weight. It wasn't like any of that. The worst part was about finding my nephew almost deceased. It turned completely blue. My brother-in-law found him right in time, and it's called bruising. When a baby starts to turn blue, they can't breathe. My nephew was very young at the time. All these things didn't make sense to us until after we found out like all this sickness was going on. It was years down the road. The banquet hall, and our singer ended up not showing up. So we ended up having to come and walk in our own wedding at 9 o'clock at night, which is absurd. That's crazy. You shouldn't be walking into a wedding at 9 o'clock at night. Music that I picked out for my wedding was completely altered. Flow dance with my father was fast, upbeat. My husband's song with my mother-in-law was also off. And mind you, all this stuff was pre-planned in advance. Like, none of this should have been messed up. Singer that actually sang at our wedding is very professional, and it wasn't like he wasn't. It just his whole band didn't have to sing. They all like just did something. I'm gonna have to go into part 2. This is part 2 of my Black Magic sister story. If you didn't watch part 1, go watch part 1. Necessary to actually understand the story. But our wedding was absolutely horrible. We didn't really think anything of it. We just said, okay, it was just a really bad day. Bad things happen to anybody. I just pushed them aside. I gave the love of my life, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. A wedding is a wedding. I get into so many details. There were marriage problems, but pretty much I couldn't hold a baby. For 4 years, I could not hold a baby. Well, my husband and I were fighting to the point of we got divorced twice. Okay, so technically we went to the shift, we got divorced twice. All these things kept happening. We were fighting so bad. Mind you, we were the perfect couple. Always argue and bicker over little things, but we'd solve it and have a solution right away. At this point in our marriage, we literally couldn't resolve anything. We were bickering and fighting about the smallest, stupidest things. We hated each other, and I could tell it was more my husband. I hated the words that were coming out of my mouth. The sight of me repulsed him. The things that were happening in my marriage. My marriage was deteriorating. We ended up divorcing in the 4 years that we were married twice, and then coming back together, of course, because nasib is nasib. Okay, no matter how much you try to break up a marriage, if you were nasib with this person, you are going to come back to this person, and that's God's plan. And you can't do anything about it. You can work with the jinn all you want, but that's not gonna happen. Marriage problems, but my physical body was also deteriorating. I never had acne problems. I never had hair problems with anything. I had extremely long, voluptuous hair. My skin was always remotely okay. Like I had slight breakouts, but nothing severe. In my body, I took care of myself. At this point in my life, I was gaining excessive amounts of weight, and I was fluctuating. So I would like gain a bunch of weight, go back to being normal. Gain a bunch of weight, extremely inflamed. My skin was also inflamed. I was getting severe cystic acne. My hair was falling out to the point where I had chunks coming out at a time. I understand this all, but this is a big theme of Black Magic. And to conclude this video, finding out from somebody that she was the one that, somebody very close to her, okay? Very close to her, that she ended up putting it on us. We ended up talking to a chef, they got it removed on us, and everything went back to normal. My hair started growing back to normal, my skin got better, and I got pregnant immediately. But when I tell you night and day difference in my marriage, like we were on the brink of divorce, now we're able to effectively communicate with each other. Before, we wanted to rip each other's heads off. We're going through something like that. Maybe you want to go ahead and talk to like a sheikh and see a sheikh or somebody that is religious and see if something is put on you, because I experienced it firsthand and it is a scary.
Can you imagine getting witchcraft done on you through your own wig? Yeah. There's this girl, let's call her Lily.
Oh, hey, I can't see what you're typing, but thank you for coming on. And oh, my little sister's birthday. Happy birthday. What's her name?
Her installs
Teresa? Happy birthday, Teresa. I can't really see everything that you're saying, but thank you so much. And I have the opportunity of saying happy birthday to your sister.
Her installs so boom, she drops off the way. She meets the stylist. She's really nice, and she's like super excited.
Right, I should do it on the level surface, right?
So
Thank you.
The day before her birthday, that's the day she gets. She goes to get her hair done. She gets there. Stylist is really nice. The place is really nice. She sees her wig, and her wig looks good, so she's excited. Like she's about to be a bad bitch for her birthday. Gets her install. It turns out really nice, really cute. She's very happy. The next day is her birthday, and she had a birthday dinner planned. She also had like.
Are you coachable too? When somebody gives you good advice, do you do it too?
And towards the end of the day,
so. Oh, okay. So now I need to
So she doesn't mind the headache. She just takes some painkillers that night before she goes to sleep, hoping that
Hi, Micah.
It's one of her birthday. When it comes, it's her birthday. She's excited. Everybody's wishing her happy birthday.
Micah, you remember my voice?
The painkillers that she took isn't really working because her headache is getting worse. But she's not
so
trying
now
to
I need to put.
It's her birthday. So her dinner reservation is set for about 6
these.
o'clock. But by the time it got to 6 o'clock, her headache was literally
into this.
but it's her birthday. And this is her birthday dinner, so she doesn't even want to touch her head. So she goes to the dinner. She is in pain.
So it looks like it goes in
like started to cry.
the first
like tries to
one.
feel her head and feel the braids under, because she even tried to like oil it. The braids didn't seem that tight. Like she was touching it. There was definitely a little bit of space in between, so it wasn't really that tight.
Micah,
that much.
Is he up?
At this point, it's not even a headache anymore. It's a migraine. So she's
Come here, Micah.
One of the products that she used, she's probably allergic.
No, I just want to say hi.
So she's like, after this dinner.
Look, so like that, and I need to do that.
She did after her birthday dinner.
I need to do that for
she
all of
got
them.
so fast and took those braids out so fast, but that didn't stop the headache, because the headache was there for another week.
Oh, I'm about to
At
put
that
this
point,
one in upside
she's in
down.
the hospital. Goes to the hospital, nothing's wrong. They couldn't find no reason why she had this migraine that's so bad.
So there's 4 of them, and I need to put 4 of them in. There's 4 of them, and I need to put 2 of them in each.
And she was explaining how
Hello.
like she just can't get rid of it ever since she got her.
You just woke up?
And the friend was like, "Oh, what did you wear?" And she showed the friend the stylist Instagram. And the friend was like, "Oh, I'm surprised."
Oh, be careful.
Right? It's dangerous up here.
Careful. Don't get hurt with all these little things over here.
Hey.
Remember her? She's from our high school. She went to school with us.
Where are you going?
Huh?
She did.
You still got the same braids?
Yeah.
I didn't notice her because
Oh wow, you've been doing a good job keeping up with it.
She
Sure do.
What you?
Let's go.
How you been putting?
Ah!
How you been doing that? Grease?
Oil. He has a bonnet.
How long? Oh, now. Okay, he keep it on? No way. I was about to say. I wanted to show y'all Micah, but maybe later.
Let's go change
From
him.
high school. She had plans to make a move on him right before they got together. So in her mind, she's thinking she Lily stole him from her.
There's an arrow
That's the loser.
on here, so that's how I know
The
which.
stylist and the boyfriend.
Well, I also know obviously because it has an open side, and I think
Oh,
most
this may be
likely
deeper than I think with Lily.
let me make sure.
Lily's Caribbean.
But even if it's not, obviously
Oh.
that's the way that I'm supposed to put some kind of something else inside of
She
it.
went to her grandmother about it.
Oh,
She
there
explained the whole
is
situation to her grandmother. Her grandmother's like, yeah, it sounds like she definitely, she might have did something.
2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, 8. Why is there one more?
Her grandma leaves.
Is it for extra? Just in
She gets a
case.
phone call from her grandma. The wig, yes, she indeed did go back on the wig. Except it didn't work the way that she wanted it to. All of Lily's hair was supposed to fall out. I mean, like bald. Was supposed to give Lily alopecia. However, that's not what happened, because Lily's Caribbean. Lily's protected. So Lily really only got like a really bad headache, which she still has at the moment after explaining everything to Grandma. She still has the headache. Grandma tells Lily, you need to come over. I know how to get rid of the headache. Now that we know the root of what's causing the headache, because the doctors couldn't find out, we're going to take care of it. So Lily is like shocked.
So
She didn't
27
even know
is like
girl.
this.
Like, why would you? What's the point? So she goes to her grandma's house. Her grandma makes her drink this tea, and she takes this herb bath. Grandma had like all these herbs in the bath, and she
That's
had
like
like
that,
a
and this is
handful
like
of
that.
those herbs. And she was
And I
patting
need
her
to
over
take
her head with it and all over her body. And then Grandma prayed for her
30.
after. And I kid y'all not, after she
And
did
put it
that,
like
the headache
this.
was gone. Lily never really confronted the girl about it. She just
Nope,
know,
30 goes
yeah,
over
I'm
there
not-
like this.
I can't mess with you.
So I need
But
to
it just
take,
goes to show, like, people will really try to get you to anything.
I need to take 31.
Story time of how everyone
31.
who lived at my last
put it like
apartment
this.
lost their job. So me and my boyfriend were doing long distance at the time, and I decided to move here for him. And basically, I knew
And I
I
need
needed
to
a
put,
roommate, but I wasn't ready to live
28,
with him, so
like
I
this.
was kind of looking around to see what I could find. So I hit up an old friend from college, and I'm like, hey, like I'm looking to move, and you know, are you in the market for a roommate? And she was like, holy cow, yes I am. Let's get together. Let's call this person Kylie. So we move in together and everything's going really well. She's going to work, I'm going to work, nothing's going on. Then I start to notice that she's not going to work anymore. Like she's just home all the time. At first I don't think anything of it, but then it just starts getting really strange. So I kind
And
of
it
confront
says
her
I
about
need
it
to
and I'm
put
like,
this.
is everything okay with your job? So there's some back and forth, and
Hold
then
on,
she
I'm gonna
finally
change our
admits to me
position so
that
y'all
she
can see.
got in a fight with her old roommate. She punched her in the face. She got arrested that night, charged with domestic violence. So that in turn got reported to her job and she lost her job. After that, I feel like the entire energy in the house just shifted and it just got really, really bad.
Come here, please.
I felt like I was able to
Alright, this
talk
one
to her,
goes like
confide in her
this.
as like a friend. I was like, she's not even wanting to go.
You miss me?
So
Do not disrupt her.
piece was,
Listen, Papa, you're gonna get stuck in your
I
foot.
reached out to him and I was like, hey, what do you think? I know it's
You miss
early,
me?
but, like, what do you think?
You ain't getting no bigger.
It's just like
He did?
moving in
No.
together,
Really?
blah blah blah. And
How long has it
situation
been
was kinda going
since
on.
I came
He
over
was
here?
like, yeah, let's
A
just
month?
move in
Really?
together. And
Yeah.
she totally
He's
resisted at
a
first. Like,
small
she was like,
baby.
no, like,
He gonna get really big,
I'll find
watch.
a way to make the rent, like,
Taller than
blah,
us.
blah, blah, but other things
At
also
12.
happened at that time that I won't dive deep into, and I was just like,
Okay,
this
that
just
goes
isn't
like that.
really working. Like, I
And then
wish
I
you
need
the
to put
best, and like,
these
let's just go our separate ways. So
in
boyfriend
here.
comes in, and things are going really well. There's like literally zero
You
issues.
gonna help me with
And
cookie?
then one day he
Come
comes
help me
home
with cookie.
and he tells me that
Help me with
company
cookie,
he
the
works for
chicken nugget.
just completely stopped existing and he doesn't have a job anymore. Just like randomly out of the blue, never saw
I
it
think he's
coming.
excited to
And a
see
couple
you.
months later, we're
Hi,
realizing
Micah.
he's just really having a hard time like finding a job. So we're like, we need to get another roommate. Like we can't
Say hi to me.
financially, like cover this rent. The rent was like insanely high. So after some searching, we end up finding a girl to move in, and
Okay.
she's super
Yeah,
sweet
like
and super
that?
cute and has a job, and
Yeah, that's good.
everything's
No.
going really well. So then I'm at work.
Yeah, that's why I was
one
gonna have
day,
my
and I
sister come
get
over here so she can play with
ping
him.
on
I mean, my sister, my daughter.
and it
I was
just
gonna
keeps
say.
going off. I'm like, what is going on? So then I look at the camera and
These.
it's showing this lady literally like pounding on the door. Some random lady, I've never seen her in my life. And I screenshot it.
These
I
go
screenshot
like
it,
this.
I'm like, do you know who this is?
think.
And he's like, never seen her in my life. And I was like, okay. So I'm thinking maybe it's our new roommate, like whatever. So then I send the screenshot over to the roommate and she's like, oh my god, that's like my boss and blah blah blah. Like she kind of just kept it short.
Mommy gonna come
didn't
get
really,
you?
like, explain what was going on. So then
Mommy's gonna come get you. You can't come over here.
She admits that
No, Micah,
she
because you're
no
gonna step
longer
on the
has a
stuff
job
and then you're gonna move it all
and
over
she
around
can't
the place.
cover rent anymore. So now
Let me know if
I'm
he's bothering
contestant
you.
number 3.
He's gonna
And
answer
we're like,
actually.
hey,
What am I
do you have a
talking
job?
about?
He's like, yes. And also, I have a second job
Oh,
that's
that's a
starting
government shirt.
in a month that's going to pay even better. So it's just going uphill from here. And we're like, perfect.
Yes.
So he moves
No.
in, and several weeks go
Yes.
by. And I'm
No,
just noticing
no.
that he's really like late on sending payment and stuff like that. So
Okay.
as my boyfriend, I'd just be like,
So
hey,
it
what's
says
going on? Are
to
you
put
good?
them.
And he admits to not
I was supposed to take out my
only
hair
losing his
yesterday,
current
guys.
job, but also losing the job that he was supposed to start soon. And we were just like completely in shock.
Oh yeah, I am doing it
What
right.
is going
So-
on? And then something hits me.
Wait, no, I'm
And
not. No, I'm not.
Do you guys remember the first roommate in the story?
So this
Kylie?
saying like this.
I remember that Kylie mentioned that her mom was getting into like witchcraft and like looking into witchcraft.
But it
and
don't
seeing
have
if,
the
you know,
the holes on the
if
bottom.
that's something that interests
Did I just
her.
put those other pieces
And
in?
I was like, could it be
But I'm just leave
that
it.
her mom
I'm gonna put all
put
of
some
these.
sort of hex on the apartment or everybody that lives there or me or like we don't live there anymore obviously, but I still think about like that moment and like if it was just a coincidence or not that all of it happened the way that it happened.
Some people will repay your kindness with witchcraft. Story time. The person who submitted this was not one using her name, so let's call her Tanya. Tanya had a niece, or has a niece named Carla, that she brought from Mexico on a student visa in order to provide her a better life. Everything was okay at first until Carla turned 18. Once she became an adult, she started to rebel. She got involved with a really tough crowd that were doing drugs, among other illegal things. And Tanya and Carla were constantly butting heads over this. Once Carla moved out, Tanya noticed that her life was going downhill. Her marriage was falling apart. Things in her house were breaking down. Like, the worst of the worst was happening to her. She couldn't understand until she went to someone who told her that somebody very close to her was doing Blue Haiti on her. She later found out that Carla had in fact become very involved in like chlamydia and was the one sending all this negativity her way. Shocked and heartbroken, she decided to cleanse herself. And of course, when you cleanse yourself, everything has to go back to its sender, which was Carla. After that, Tanya decided to just kind of wash her hands and just be done with Carla. The only little updates that she would hear about Carla's life was through family members, because that was her niece. They had the same family members, and all she would hear was that Carla was even more involved in drugs, that she was in and out of jail, that she was getting herself in trouble even more. Now, fast forward 30 years. It's been 30 years, and out of the blue one day, Tanya gets a phone call from Carla. In the phone call, Carla admits to doing the witchcraft all those years ago and asks for forgiveness. Tanya responds with, "I forgave you a long time ago, like I'm not even holding on to that grudge." Then Carla asks Tanya if she can request her in order for her to get her papers, because I guess she's in trouble or she's getting ready to be deported since she never got her student visa.
You forgive.
She never fixed that situation. Due to Carla's criminal record and all of the things that Tanya knew that she was involved with, Tanya didn't feel comfortable like helping her in that way, because she would literally have to put her name in order to request her for her to be able to stay in the U.S. And Tanya pretty much gave her all of the resources she can possibly give her and told her that, "I'm sorry, but I just don't want to get involved." This was like a bombing off for Carla, because then Carla went and tenfold started putting brujeria on Tanya all over again. Soon after, Tanya's fridge broke down, her car broke down, her house became infested with these like small little bugs. Like literally everything around her was falling apart. Anytime she would try to make plans, they would fall apart. Like it was all too familiar to what had happened 30 years prior, so she knew exactly what she was dealing with this time.
So
She
that's all.
thankfully now tried to cleanse herself, but she was able to cleanse herself once again and put a protection over herself. Not long after, Tanya heard that Carla had ended up losing custody of all 4 of her kids, so she had 4 kids within that time, and that she was now currently living in a small little hotel, pretty much just running from the law because they're essentially looking for her.
Hey guys, I'm finally speaking out about this because I will not be silent any longer. A lot of people might think I'm crazy, but I don't care. This is my personal experience, okay? So, like last year in October, a mushroom ring, or also known as a fairy ring, appeared in my garden. And I got really excited about this because I thought, wow, like that's amazing. And I know that they're supposed to be magical and fairies, obviously, and I'm a fairy, so I should go check it out. I didn't know anything specific about like folklore fairies and stuff before this, but I got excited and I walked into the fairy ring. I was just like, cool, like this is so fun, fairies, ah. Later on in the day, I'm like, maybe I should do some more research on fairies, like how to communicate with them, how you know if they're nearby and stuff. And I find out that literally the worst thing that you can do is walk in a fairy ring. The worst thing you can do. I find out that people that often walk in fairy rings get cursed by fairies. And what does being cursed by a fairy look like, do I hear you ask? Well, for fun,
I'm gonna use
fairies
this
like to rearrange
to
your
screw it
things,
down because
steal
I don't want to
things,
use a
and just
drill
put them
because
back
it's
in the most random
glass.
places, basically making you think you're crazy. This is what I have been experiencing for, like, since I walked in the fairy ring. And maybe I am just paranoid. Maybe I'm just trying to put the blame on something else and not myself and the fact that I'm flaky. But all of the time, my things are there. Like, my phone will just disappear, and then it will turn up in the most obvious place. It will literally be on my bed, and I'm like, I could not have missed that. Someone is like messing with me. And my friends have experienced it too. I feel like whenever I'm around anyone, like people have the same thing and their things just disappear and then just turn up in the most random places as well. And I think they're just enjoying bullying me at the moment. They probably think it's funny as well that I'm like Savannah the Green Fairy and they're like, what a loser, like she really wants to be us. If anyone knows any ways that I can kind of not be cursed anymore by fairies, I would find that really helpful. Also because apparently, like, when fairies notice you, they don't stop noticing you, like, they know that I exist now. So is there any way that I can become friends with a fairy? Like, or just be more, like, calm with them so they stop cursing me? I don't know. People might think I'm crazy, but I don't care. Like, I'm serious. Please someone help.
Whenever they tell y'all to take heed when y'all go to New Orleans and watch out what you're doing, It's not a joke, and you should really listen. I've had something happen to me about 5 years ago that I have been very hesitant to speak on because it's quite scary and it really happened, and it really mind boggles me that it actually happened. Just a disclaimer, I am very Christian. I believe in God to the fullest and I worship Him with everything. So this story does have a little bit of demonic things going into it, but I myself am not. This is just things that have happened to me, and I'm just sharing my experiences. So about 5 years ago, we had a hurricane here in Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is where I'm from. And during the hurricane, my home was destroyed, all that. So we were living in New Orleans in hotels until FEMA trailers were provided, homes were fixed, things like that. So I was in New Orleans from about beginning of September to the end of November. While I was there, a lot of paranormal, high spiritual, high demonic things happened. It all started, and I know a lot of y'all gonna be like, this is crazy, why would you have even done that? Mind you, I was 19 at the time. I didn't know no better. I was out there with my friends. I didn't have no family out there. My friends were my family, and we were really just exploring, having fun, trying to make the best of our time while we were there. And I was also not as close to God as I am now as I was then. So we went to Marie Laveau's voodoo shop that is on Bourbon Street. When we walked in, I felt a little off. I was already kind of scared to go in there. It was not my initial idea to go in. It's just that we were with a group of people and they kind of went in. I kind of was like very hesitant because I knew a lot about voodoo already. I do have an auntie who passed, but she used to practice voodoo, and I heard a lot of stories about her growing up. So I was just overall very fearful, but I still went inside because I was like, really, what's the worst that can happen? I'm just going in here. So we're looking around, all the things. I try not to touch anything, y'all, because I don't know the power of anything, that anything holds in there. I knew that everything was used for dark magic, and I wasn't trying to touch it, so I didn't touch anything. But I did end up coming across the altar that they have in there. I did go by the altar, and I did look at it for a while. I did not leave an offering, and I did not touch it. I know that it said that you're supposed to leave an offering, supposed to leave something, but I know for sure you're not supposed to touch it, and I did not touch it, y'all. I did it. But I am going to say, after we left that voodoo shop, everything went downhill for me. And it was weird because even though we were all there, I swear I don't think anyone else that was with me experienced what I experienced but me. I'm going to come back in part 2, and I'm going to get into details about all the things that happened because, y'all, we might be here for a minute. Okay, y'all, so part 2 of how I was hunted in New Orleans and my friend got possessed. Alright, so we left the and mind you, because we were displaced, we were staying in hotels, as I mentioned before. So maybe some days have passed, not too many, just a few days have passed or so. And me and one of my best friends were sleeping in my hotel room at the time. So it was a king bed, and she slept on one side, and I slept on the other part and the other side. And it's middle of the night, so we're sleeping. So as I am trying to sleep, I feel me choke, like hardly choke. And because I was being choked, I woke up. I immediately look over at my best friend, and I'm like, just choke me, because there's no way. But she is, y'all, she passed out. She passed out. So I look over on the other side of me, and there he is. There was a tall man figure, whatever. It was a tall man figure. But I'm not gonna say what he
They
looked
go like this.
I can really tell you what he had on. So I don't really know what the outfit is called, but have y'all ever seen like in Africa when they wear like those, I don't know if it's Africa. I really don't know where it's in. I'm gonna say Africa, but correct me if I'm wrong. But they wear like those full grass suits from head to toe. Let me see if I can figure out what it's called. I couldn't get the name of it, but I know that it's done at the masquerade festivals that they hold. And
I think it'll go like that. Let me show you.
Full body thing where you can't really see the face too well, but it's like covering from head to toe, and it's like very dramatic, alright? So the man was wearing that, similar to that, but it was bandanas. It was like a full bandana outfit, and it kind of reminded me of something that they were wearing like Mardi Gras maybe, like just like I don't know what they call it during Mardi Gras either, y'all, because I'm like I said, I'm Lake Charles. They don't do Mardi Gras like that, not like they do it out there. But yeah, so he just had a little bit outfit, but I could still see his face a little. Like the bandana was like right here, and but you can still see his grimace, and you can still see his eyes within the bandana.
Right, so
covered
now
that. So he had this part exposed of his face. Y'all, he was standing over me smiling.
34.
I'm like, oh hell no, I'm tripping. Like, I'm tripping. So y'all, I get to rub my eyes. I'm like, this not real. He's still there. So I was scared as hell, but I knew that it wasn't a real person actually there because I just knew it wasn't. Like, I don't know. I could just tell that whatever it was demonic, and I could tell that it wasn't real in a sense.
So, okay.
So I just covered the covers with my eyes, and I continued to act like I was. Y'all, that's just the first weird thing that happened. Now, what I'm going to tell y'all next, this is where it gets real. This is where things got completely freaky. Completely.
If you love New Orleans and you love a good ghost story, especially a good New Orleans ghost story, then you made it to the right TikTok. Some of you that may not know, I'm originally from New Orleans. I am 504 Eva. If I'm living in Los Angeles, I refuse to change my phone number and my area code. So I'm visiting family here in New Orleans for a couple of weeks, and I was driving around the Garden District, uptown, visiting my old aunts, and I came across a house that triggered a story that I had to share with you guys, and it's a ghost story that I was kind of involved in. It's a really good tale. Before we start, let me grab some water. That's it. So when I was attending university, I was seeing this guy for a couple of months. We're gonna call him Kevin. That was his middle name. Kevin was renting this beautiful house with two other guys in the Garden District. Kind of looked like this.
So they want me to put they want me to put this piece in
It's been
first.
passed down generation to generation within the landlord family. And for the last, I want to say 8 to 10 years, he's just been renting it out to college students. According to Kevin, because he knew that I was really into ghost stories and the paranormal, he told me that there were a couple of weird things that would happen in the house.
This gotta be 19. They didn't put a thing on it, but it's 19.
They always handed to the noises of the old house. They would see things in the corner of their eyes, but they would just think, oh, I'm really stressed because of school. But there was one night that shook Kevin to the core, and I couldn't believe it either. It was Thursday, Friday, it's 2:30 in the morning, and I just got done writing a huge paper, and I had to wake up really early for my 9 a.m. classification quiz. Sleep was important. Right before I'm drifting off to La La Land, I get a phone call, I ignore the phone call, and I just continue to try to drift to sleep. The phone rings again, it's Kevin, and I'm thinking, it's too late for a booty call right now, and I need my sleep. I answer it, and Kevin asks, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to go to sleep, I have a class tomorrow, I have a quiz, I have a lot of things to do in the morning. He said, can I come over? I'm like, can we wait for this until the weekend, maybe? And he said that it's an emergency, and that he really needed to come over. And I said to myself, oh, something really bad happened. I thought, someone broke into his house, because where, he was living, where we're going to school, there were a lot of home invasions that were occurring, and I thought, oh boy, something really bad happened. I asked him if he needed me to call the cops, or if he called the cops, or what's going on. He's like, I'll tell you all about it when I get there. He comes over, and it's like he just saw a ghost. And I mean that figuratively and literally. So you're gonna have to like for part 2 if you want to hear about what happened together. Alright, part 2 of a New Orleans ghost story. Okay, so Kevin comes over and I open the door and he looks like he's literally seen a ghost, and it turns out that he did. So I sit him down, I pour him some whiskey, and with great anticipation, like we're waiting for another new episode from Ghost Adventures, and like, please tell. So according to Kevin, around 1:45, 2 a.m., he had just arrived home for a very
There's
late
holes
study session.
on
He
this
had a lot of
side
stuff to do the next
of the
morning.
thing.
He pulls up and he notices that no one's
It's right
home.
here.
And the two roommates that he lives with, one of them
Holes
is
are
out
right
of town
here.
at this time, and the other one works in
So
the
they
French
line
Quarter.
up,
He
I'm
works
assuming they go like that.
in this place called the Napoleon House. And if you know the Napoleon House, then you know. So he goes into the house and he fixes himself a little snack. He goes upstairs. He goes to his bedroom. He closes the door behind him, and he's just, getting ready to go to sleep.
So
He's setting his stuff up for the next day.
I need
Then he
8.
hears what sounds like footsteps coming up the staircase. He thought, okay, maybe one of his roommates came home from work early, which is really weird because he doesn't come home until like 4:30 in the morning. He calls out to him and there's no response. Maybe he didn't hear him. So he continues to get ready to go to bed, and the footsteps get louder and they're coming closer and closer up to the second level. Calls out again and no response. So he decides to play detective. He thought it odd that he or maybe one of his roommates did not lock the door to the house, and someone probably came in, which is even scarier than the dead. Trust me, I pick the dead over the living any day. He opens the door and he notices that there's a figure standing on the staircase, and it's a man, and he's kind of freaking out, but then he looks closely and he notices that he could see through him, and that he can only see from the knee up, that the guy had no legs. He slams the door shut, grabs his stuff, leaves through his window, and on his roof there's a flat surface where him and his buddies would always like sit out and drink. So he got on there, dumped his bag onto the ground, and made a jump for it. Got in the car and called me. I asked him, you have to tell your landlord. Just ask him, just be straight up with him. I'm sure there's something attached to the house that he's not telling you. Fast forward a couple of weeks later, we go see a Shakespeare show at my school, and it was set in the late 1800s. He turns to me during one scene, he's like, Tammy, that is what one of the guys was wearing. And I said, what? And opened vest and breeches, like, it just looked like breeches. My mouth kind of dropped. And during intermission, he tells me that he did talk to his landlord, and it turned out that there was a death in the house back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, where a servant boy fell to his death downstairs. And ever since then, his family has seen his spirit walking up and down the stairs, as well as other past tenants.
Short time of time with New Orleans and experienced the weirdest paranormal activity. Now, I'm aware New Orleans is a portal, and her energy is extremely thick. You either love New Orleans or dislike it. As for me, the culture, the people, the food, the history, top tier. Now, I always have love for New Orleans. Being that my dad and my mom is Haitian, and it's also said that Haiti and New Orleans are considered sisters, with all their related history, such as the food, the architecture, the spiritual practices, voodoo, the list goes on. But back in 2022, me and my husband decided to change it. Now, mind you, we've been to all the tourist sites, the French Quarter, the Garden District, the Lafayette Cemetery, Bourbon Street, the list goes on. Now, mind you, I haven't experienced too many paranormal or ghost activity as much because I had a spiritual protection around me. But however, on this particular day, when I walked into Jackson Square, I had my first encounter. And that was in the St. Louis Cathedral.
I'm ready for you.
The church.
I'm ready
So on
for
that
the door
particular
because
morning, me and my husband, strolling, we decided to say, hey, why not just pay a visit to inside the church? And I heard they had like a gift shop in there, etc. So I decided to take a walk inside. Now, before heading inside, my husband got a phone call, and he just told me he'll meet me inside when he's done. Now, as soon as I stepped a foot in that church, tell me why I was immediately stopped. Not by a person, but by multiple heavy, I don't know if it was spirits or whatever it was, but it was a heavy ass energy in there. Mind you, I was able to move with my eyes. Like, I looked towards my right, I seen statue, I seen saints and candles lit, and I looked towards my left and I saw the gift shop there.
They're talking about these.
Now, every second felt more dense and got more heavy. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? Now, I'm the type of person like to feel the energy out and to basically dissect it and see what's going on. Is this energy good or bad? And being that I'm an intuitive person, I can feel, hear, smell, and understand energy quite well. And I was also able to detect that the energy that I was feeling was good and bad. The good side is that was my spiritual team with me. On the negative side, that was the energy that was stuck in that church. I don't know what happened in that church back in the 1800s, 1900s, but something is lingering in there. There was lots of spirits lingering in there. As soon as I walked in there, it just felt like all eyes was on me, and not in a good way. It was like, oh shit, she could see me.
And I have to use an Allen key for it.
Everybody was walking around normal. They were shopping, they was going into church.
They want me to
in the
use
church. I couldn't even step a foot inside the church. I couldn't even
whatever
go further. I couldn't get out of the lobby. My feet would not move at all. I decided to go shift my way in towards the gift shop and try to move myself, whatever, because it just got more heavier and heavier. I'm trying to make my way out the front door, but
no, that's not true.
For some reason, I made my way towards the gift shop.
These ones.
And that's also a part of me wanted to get souvenirs at the beginning. So I think that's another reason why my mind was just shifting my way towards the gift shop. Now, as I'm in there for only for a few seconds. My husband walks in, and he's looking around for me. I'm trying to wait to him to say, hey, I'm right here. But before he even got a chance to see me, he stopped at that front door. He made this face like, and then he turned around and walked out. That right there was intentional. Okay, yeah, he's feeling what I'm feeling. Now, as I'm in the gift shop, I'm looking around, I see the rosaries and a whole bunch of pictures of the saints and stuff like that. So again, one side of me was like, okay, I felt my spiritual team around me, my ancestors, my guides, my guardian angels. I already know I felt their presence around me, and they were shielding me. The reason why I'm laughing is because I know for a fact they're telling me to get the fuck out of there. Like, what are you doing in this gift shop, child? Okay. Get the fuck out. So they actually swooped my ass out of there. Literally, I felt like I was floating. Like my feet was just floating out of there. Like I was out. As soon as I head out that door, my head felt like a pop. Like I felt like a pop of like you know how you're on a flight and then your ear starts to pop? I felt that type of like pop. That's how dense the fucking energy was in that church. Okay. Now I see my husband sitting on the bench and I walked next to him and I couldn't even fucking breathe. I couldn't even talk. So he's looking at me like, yo.
Let's put on some Delafay.
Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm gonna see if I can get done with this in an hour and 30 minutes, guys. When this goes on.
Viewer discretion is advised.
The testimony of how Jesus Christ rescued me starts before I was born. In my mother's life, she was raised for the most part of her childhood and adolescence outside of a Christian home, or not in a Christian home. But at the age of about 15 or 16, her mother, who was my grandmother, was radically saved. Jesus Christ came in and set her free from a lot of things that she was bound by. And in doing that, he released her to then be a light to her children, my mother and her brothers and sisters, my aunts and uncles. And in that, my mother was exposed to the Christian faith. Again, she was about 16, 15, around that age. And when she begins to have affection for Jesus and know what it means to, or know what it meant to live for Jesus and want to turn from the life that she was currently living in sin. So she's introduced to Jesus at this time in her life, but at the same time, she was also introduced to my father. And my father was on a different path in his life, and he didn't know Jesus. So my mother found herself torn between wanting to fully surrender to Christ and her affection for my father. And that's where she was for a while in that struggle, engaging in sexual immorality with my father and living that kind of lifestyle. She was torn there for a while. So by the age of 18, she has her first child, that's my older sister, with my father. And again, she's wrestling with this idea of wanting to fully surrender to Christ, but also her affection for my father. And the way that she tried to build a bridge between the two and reconcile those two aspects of her life was to get married to my father, and in hopes that God would bless their relationship. And she tells me a story about how she gets a wedding dress and she's preparing to get married. And when she's trying on this wedding dress, she hears the Holy Spirit tell her, if you do this, it'll be the death of you. So in that moment, she knows, okay, this is probably not going to turn out the way I hoped. I'm not going to be able to marry this man and spend my life with this man. So her and my grandmother moved from the small town that they lived in, which was Akron, Ohio, to Columbus, Ohio, which is the capital of Ohio. Now she did this, my grandma just wanted to start afresh, newly serving Jesus, set on fire for Jesus. She wanted to, just a new environment to be able to dwell in and thrive in. And my mother wanted to escape the temptation of continuing to go back to my father, who was, let's call him a rolling stone. He was in and out and doing all the things. He had a lot of women and was sleeping around a lot. So my mother wanted to break free from that temptation so that she could fully surrender her life to Jesus. So she moves to Columbus with a 1-year-old little girl, my sister, and she's pregnant with me at this time. And we get to Columbus, and she's a struggling single mother. My father stays in Akron, Ohio, and she gives birth to me shortly after she moved here to Columbus. Things became even more challenging after I was born because when we were in the hospital, it was found out that I had an infection. There was E. coli in my blood, and it was threatening to take my life. I almost died
I think I know what it
in that
is.
moment.
What?
I think it's gonna be that LED battery.
But David says in the Psalms that the days that are
What do you want
ordained
with
for
the
us
chicken
are
nuggets
in
or the
God's book
tenders?
before
You said, what is
any
it?
of them ever
What do you want
come
with
to
the chicken
pass.
tenders?
So
Oh, it
God
don't
knows
matter.
exactly what is going to happen in my life, exactly what He's going to allow to happen in my life, when He's going to allow it to happen. So nothing can happen to me or
Okay,
to
I
you
hope
or
I
to
put-
anyone
yeah, no, I will.
without God's say-so, without God's permission, His stamp of approval. And clearly it was not God's timing for me to go then. So I recovered from that sickness and was able to go home with my mother. My mother, again, is struggling to survive at this point with me and my older sister. And my father is kind of back and forth between Akron and Columbus. He would come to visit and spend time with us from time to time and then go back and come back and go back. So he was back and forth for a little bit early on in my life. And one of those times, my mother said that she's sitting in the living room of their apartment, and he comes down and he tells her, hey, I'm gonna run to the store to get, it was either diapers or formula. I'm gonna run to the store to get something for the baby. And he goes back upstairs, he packs a trash bag with his clothes, and he throws his clothes out and he comes back downstairs and he says, hey, I'll be right back. I'm just running to the store. But he gets in his car, he takes his clothes and he leaves. And he leaves my mother and her 2 young children, me and my sister, and he didn't come back. And that's kind of always been, even to this day, the relationship that I have with my biological father. I love him, of course, but it was just always in and out of my life. And so we were never really able to establish a relationship, the relationship that a son and a father want to have. For the first couple of years of my life, we're living in this small apartment in Columbus, Ohio. And then at the age of about 3 or 4, my mother started actually letting me go and visit my father in Akron. She would take me and my sister to Akron in the summertime, and we would normally stay a few weeks with him. And this was her way of trying to foster a relationship between he and us. Because although he had abandoned her and hurt her, she was really passionate, I think, about us having a relationship with our father and us loving him and respecting him as a father, even though he didn't really play his part. So she would take us to visit him in the summertime, and there were things that I remember when we would go visit my father, and this is where the enemy very early on in my life started planting little seeds of darkness in my heart. And what I mean by that is we would go and visit my father, and he had a lot of women. So when we would stay with him, we would go from one woman's house to another woman's house to another woman's house. And this was kind of just how we spent all of our time when we were with him, bouncing from one girlfriend's house to another girlfriend's house. And I'm too young to really understand what all of this meant. I just knew that there were always a lot of women around. And these women would take advantage of the fact that I was so young. And they would ask me questions, hey, does your father have other girlfriends? Are you guys ever around other girls? And of course, me not knowing better, I was yeah, we were at another girl's last night. And this would cause problems, obviously, for my father in his relationships. So he would get frustrated with me, and he would send us back to my mom in Columbus. There's one incident that I remember that's burned into my memory. Me and him were driving down the street, and he has this red pickup truck at the time. And we're just driving down the street in the middle of the day, and he sees a young lady walking down the street. And he begins to holler at her from the vehicle, and he slows down, and they're talking for a little bit. We're in the middle of the street, and he kind of does a U-turn and he pulls up right alongside her. And they continue their conversation until she comes over to my side of the car and she gets into the car. Again, it's a two-seater truck, so I kind of have to scoot over into the middle, and I'm sitting in between my father and this woman who was a complete stranger. We go back to my father's house. He tells me to play with some toys in the living room, and him and the young lady go upstairs. Moments later, they come back down, and he's in his robe, and she's in a robe, and he's smoking a cigar, and all of his friends are over by this time, and they're dapping him up and talking to him about how he's this and he's that. And again, at that time, I didn't really understand what was happening, what exactly my father was engaging in. But as I grew in just knowledge and understanding about the way life worked, I was able to look back on those moments and see, man, the enemy was already trying to plant seeds in my heart about what a woman was and what she meant to men, and what she was good for or what she was not good for. Those seeds were planted in my heart even before I understood what any of these things meant. So kind of fast forward a little bit, I think by the age of 8 or 9 or 10, I finally come to a place where I know I'm starting to know the Lord. I was raised in the church. Again, my grandmother was on fire for the Lord, so my mother was on fire for the Lord, so we're always in church. Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, prayer meetings, we're always in church, and I'm always hearing the gospel message preached. I didn't really understand it, of course, at that age, but I was always hearing that Jesus died for my sins, that God loved me, and that he wanted a relationship with me. I think at that time I probably had a more legalistic understanding of what it meant to have a relationship with God. That if you did the right things, God would love you and accept you. That's kind of how I understood the gospel. But I knew that I personally wanted to have a relationship with him at that age. I remember about the age of 9 thinking to myself, one day I want to have a wife, and I want to have a family, and I want to live for God, and I want to do, whatever it is that God has for me to do. And I remember one time my mom getting me and my siblings together to pray in the living room. And we would all pray, go around the room and pray. And when it got to me, I said my prayer. And afterwards, we're all heading up to bed. And my mom stops me. She says, hey, there's something different about you. There's something different about the way that you pray. And when she said that to me, I knew that it was because when I prayed, I wasn't just talking. I wasn't just speaking words into the air, but I knew that there was someone on the other side of my prayers that was listening to what I had to say, even as a young child. I knew that God was listening to my words. So there were seeds of darkness planted early in my life, but then there were seeds of light planted, always being engaged in the church, always going to church, always having a godly reference point in my mother and in my grandmother for what it meant and what it looked like to serve Christ. Now, to take it back a little bit, at the age of I want to say 5 or 6, my mother eventually marries my stepfather. He was a young kid, 21 years old, a street kid, and he lived on the street that my grandmother and my mother had lived on, and my grandmother started hosting Bible studies in her living room. And he goes to this Bible study, and he meets my mother, and he falls for her, and eventually they get married. Now, at this time, my mother has 4 children because she's already been in between this in a marriage with another man who was a pastor's son, and he was abusive and he was unfaithful. So that relationship ended. Now my mother is she has 4 kids and she's single and struggling to make it work. But my stepfather came in, and I say stepfather now for clarity, but through my life, he's never been a stepfather to me. He's always been a father to me. He raised me from a young boy to the man that I am now. And he's taught me how to be a man and how to live for Jesus. Even though early on in life he did not belong to Jesus. He was introduced to Christ at 21, but I don't think he actually fully surrendered his life until I was about a sophomore in high school. Fast forward, I am growing up, super engaged in the church. When we would go to church, people started prophesying over my life. People started prophesying. They would either go to my mother and say, hey, your son TJ, he's going to be a preacher. He's going to proclaim God's word. Or they would come directly to me and they would pray with me and say, the Lord is showing me that you're going to preach his word, that you're going to be a preacher. So these little seeds, of purpose, let's say, were being planted in my heart. I even remember when I was 16, I was working at McDonald's in the drive-thru, and a lady comes to the drive-thru. She orders her food, and when she gets to the window to pay, before I can receive her money, she says, hey, you sound like a preacher. You're going to preach God's word one day. And I'm 16 at this time, but I had already heard it many times before that. And when you know how the scripture talks about when Gabriel came to Mary, he tells her that Jesus is going to be born. And when Jesus is doing all of these amazing things, teaching in the temple, and she's seeing all of the things that he's doing in his life, scripture says that she hid those things in her heart. And this is kind of how I was. When I would get those words, when I would get those prophecies, when different people would say something to me, I would kind of hide it in the back of my heart and think to myself, one day this is going to be me. And this is going to be the life that I live, how I live my life for Jesus. About the age of, let's say, 12, things start to accelerate in the wrong direction. At that age, my mother started allowing me and my siblings to go to a summer camp. And at this summer camp, we would go from Monday to Friday and then go home for Saturday to Sunday and then go back to the camp throughout the week, the work week. So we did this for several weeks during the summertime. And our camp counselors at this time, they were young themselves. They were maybe 19, 18, 20 years old. So they were really immature. They came from rough neighborhoods. They didn't know Jesus. And they lived like it. And they influenced the younger kids, me being 12. And there were, even kids even younger than me, 11 and 10 years old at these camps. And every Friday night, they began to implement a dance night. So on Friday nights, we would either gather together in the cafeteria. We were off in the cabins in the woods. They would gather all the kids together either in the cafeteria or in one of the cabins. And they would turn down the lights, and then they would encourage the girls and the boys to dance together. Now at this time, it was popular for the girls to twerk on the boys. I don't know if you know what that means. It's just a sexual type of dancing where the girl is grinding on the young man. So we were encouraged to engage in this, and this was pretty foreign to me. I was pretty green at this time in my life. I just wasn't being raised in a strict Christian home. I wasn't exposed to this kind of stuff early on in life, outside of when I would go see my father when I was really young. So we would dance with these girls, and in dancing with these girls, my body started to respond. So now there are changes happening in my body, and I'm starting to feel a desire for the opposite sex. I'm starting to feel attracted to girls and touching them and them touching me, and how that's making me feel on the inside. And this is just the start of a monster growing on the inside of me, a desire growing on the inside of me that I would not be able to satisfy. Shortly after going to the camp, still at the same age, about 12 or 13 years old, I go over to my grandmother's house, and my cousin is living with her at the time. And I go back into my cousin's room. He's a boy, and he's sitting on his computer, and he's watching pornography. But when I see the porn on the screen, again, I was still a little wet behind the ears, so that was just jarring to me. It was shocking to see those images in real life, right? So I'm with my little brother at the time, and I see it, I'm like, oh, I don't want to see that. And I tell my little brother, hey, don't look at that. Don't look at that. But again, even though I was uninterested in the moment, a seed was planted. A seed was planted in my heart. So it didn't take long for me to be on my own and start to think to myself, man, maybe I want to see what that was on my own when nobody else is around. Maybe I want to watch one of those videos myself or get a hold of some of those pictures myself. At that time, it was dial-up internet, so it was noisy and hard to get on the internet. But I would find ways to sneak on either my grandmother's computer or at that time, cable TV had like Cinemax and HBO Max, where at like 2 or 3 in the morning, they would play porn on cable television. So I would, once I learned that, I would stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning just so that I could get a glimpse of this, just so that I could see this for myself. And again, my body is beginning to respond to this. This is exciting me. It's making me feel wanted. It's making me feel desired. It's, I felt like I didn't really have a voice as a young kid. And when you don't have a voice, that breeds insecurity in you. You don't know who you are. You don't know how to really stand up for yourself. You don't know how to speak up. And I think that kind of played a part of me wanting to be desired, because it made me feel better about myself. And watching pornography at a young age made me feel that. It made me feel desired, even though this is fictitious and these things mean nothing in real life. Satan was manipulating my mind and heart and my emotions to make me feel this way. So very quickly, I got addicted to pornography. Any chance I got, I was trying to find a computer where I could watch it, or staying up late, whether I was at home or staying the night with a friend or a cousin. I was always trying to get my hands on pornography, and I was able to do it a lot. And again, this desire on the inside of me just kept growing and growing. And now I'm 16, I'm 17, and I'm introduced to masturbation, and now I'm masturbating and I'm watching pornography, and it just became a stronghold in me. And I don't think at that point in my life, as a young man, as a young boy, 16 years old, I don't even think I could see another type of living. I was so consumed in the life that I was living and trying to satisfy the desires of my flesh that I couldn't picture not doing what I was doing. That just became the normal in my life. And of course, all of the other boys my age were doing it, and I was keeping it a secret from my family. But I felt like, even growing up in the church, even being super engaged in the faith, I compartmentalized my life. And on some days I was this good Christian boy who had good grades and who lifted his hands in church, and he prayed in church, and he was in the youth group, and on Saturday mornings he would go and help with the pantry at church, and I was serving as much as I was singing in the choir, all of these things at a young age. But in the dark, I'm living a completely different type of life where I'm addicted at a young age to pornography, and I'm consuming this on a regular basis. So as we accelerate, I get into high school. I think about my sophomore year, this is now where my father surrenders his life to Jesus. My mother has brain tumors at this point she has tumors on her brain, and the doctors are saying that we're going to have to cut her open, and we're going to have to try to remove these surgically. And my father had been in and out, as far as being faithful to Jesus, being there for his family, providing for his family, but then running the streets with his friends and going to the club and doing all of those things. But at this point in his life, I think he was getting to the point where he was tired of the life that he was living. And he cared about his wife. He didn't want something bad to happen to her. So he says one morning he woke up after going to the club the night before, and he looks in the mirror and he says, Lord, I don't want to be this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. So if you save my wife, if you heal her, I'll surrender. I'll surrender completely to you. And that's exactly what God did. He healed my mother, completely took the tumors away. The next time she went into a doctor's visit, the tumors are gone. And they can't explain how it happened. They're just gone. Now, of course, growing up in a Christian home, we knew exactly how it happened. Everyone at our church was praying. And my father had now made this almost this oath to God, saying, hey, if you save her, if you heal her, I'll surrender. I'll live for you. And that's what he did. Immediately, he's on fire for the Lord. Super involved in everything ministry, going out on the streets and evangelizing on the streets and praying for people on the streets and feeding the homeless. And he would take us along with him. And so now I have a father and a mother who is dedicated to Christ, and I'm seeing what it means to live in a home where both parents love Jesus and live for Jesus. But I get a girlfriend my junior year in high school, and this is the first time I'm in a serious relationship. And I had what I thought at the time were deep feelings for her. I thought I loved her, and I thought that she loved me.
Yeah.
And she was a little older,
Sure.
and she was a senior, and I was a junior, and
No, it's
she
not
was
hot. The
already
window's
sexually
open.
active. She had already lost her virginity. So she started saying to me, hey, you know, this is the direction I want to move in. I want to be sexually active. I want to have sex. And although for years at this point now, I had been engaged in pornography and masturbation and all of these things, I wasn't quite ready to take that step. I still was a little fearful, probably because of how I was raised. Just fearful of, you know, getting a girl pregnant or getting an STD or making God angry, even though everything else I was already doing, I'm sure was displeasing to him. I know for a fact it was displeasing to him. But she is consistent and persistent in her pursuit, and she wants to have sex. So the summer right before my senior year, we have sex. I lose my virginity to her, and at that time, it opened a completely new layer in my life to the depths of sexual depravity that I would plunge into. Before it was just on a screen and me, but now it's in person. It's real. I'm touching her, and she's touching me, and the way that this makes my body feel. I wanted more, and I wanted more, and I wanted more. And let me just say something really quickly about how we engage with pornography. I think that a lot of people think that watching pornography and masturbating is the safer option. This is safer than physically sleeping with a girl or physically sleeping with a boy. It's just me. It's not hurting anybody else. It's not affecting anybody else. I'm doing it in secrecy and in privacy, but it does affect other people. And it does affect you. There is nothing safe about any version of sexual immorality. As soon as you begin to walk down that path, as soon as you open the door to those demonic spirits, they come in and they make themselves at home in you, and they do everything that they can to take you further than you ever thought that you would go. You think to yourself, this is just going to stay in the quiet, you know, in my dark room when nobody's around. This is just me and my phone, or me and my computer screen. But it goes much further than that, and Satan gets a hook in you, and you don't realize that just by watching these videos, it affects you when you get married, and whether or not you're able to be satisfied with the spouse that God gave you. You don't understand when you first start watching these videos that it affects the way that you look at women and look at men. There came a point in my life where
hold on, guys.
Women weren't.
Oh. Oh, I read that wrong the first time. Okay. How old is your sister? Okay.
Who had a family, a mother or children, and who had feelings and emotions and meant something to the people in her life that loved her. Women just became an object to me, an object to satisfy my lustful desires. And you don't know all of that when you're early on and you're engaging in this. You think that it's a safe option for you because you can't get anyone pregnant or you can't catch an STD or these things, but it's not safe. It is dangerous. It destroys human beings. It destroys your soul. It destroys your ability to empathize with people. It destroys your ability to see people as being made in the image of God. It deteriorates and degrades how you view people. And it makes it hard to have real intimacy and affection in your life going forward. And that's exactly what happened to me. I graduate, if I can use that term, from pornography to now I'm sleeping with women. And I didn't even stay with this girl long. We broke up shortly thereafter. And now I'm free in the market to try whatever I wanted. And that's what I did. I started sleeping with all of the different girls in my high school. And it was quick, man. Like, it didn't take long for me to just completely be overcome and overwhelmed by my desires and by my lust. By the sexual perversion that was on the inside of me, and I began to just sleep around. So I graduate high school, and at that point, I fall out with my parents. I get into a fight with my parents, and I end up moving in with my grandmother. And then I left my grandmother's and moved in with my girlfriend at the time. And this is the summer right before I go off to college. So this is the first time in my life now, the summer before I leave to go off to college, where I'm not in church. I'm not going to church on a regular basis. There is no godly influence in my life because I'm not really talking to my family at this point, just my brothers and my sisters, but I'm not talking to my parents, not talking to my grandmother because we had beef at this point. So I'm kind of just floating, doing my own thing. I'm staying with my girlfriend and her parents, and I stay with them for that summer, and then I head off to college, and I head off to college broken, and with no sure foundation, just floating, trying to figure out who I am. So I move away and I go to college in Southern Ohio, a small town in Southern Ohio. I go to this college, and in high school I never really drank or did any drugs. That was never my thing. I always thought that was disgusting and weird, and I didn't understand why people were attracted to that kind of thing. So God had shielded me from that early on in my life. But when I got off to college, now there is no one around me to say, hey, don't go down this path. Don't try these things. You've been able to avoid them for this long. Just stay on the path that you are. Try to avoid the drugs. Try to avoid the alcohol and the lifestyle that comes with this. Or I'm now introduced to all of these friends from all over the country. And they are all smoking weed and drinking and getting drunk and going to the club. And okay, yeah, now I want to be a part of this too, right? Like I want to fit in. I want to be cool. I want to have these experiences because from the outside looking in, it looks really fun. It looks like they're all really enjoying themselves, right? Like I want to see what that's about for myself. So I never really got into the smoking or cocaine or the popping pills, all of the other things that some of my friends were doing, but I did begin to drink. And just like the sexual immorality, immediately it takes off in my life. And it was a very short time frame before the end of my freshman year. I'm an alcoholic. I'm addicted to alcohol. Every day I have to drink before we go to bed. We have to get drunk to go to sleep. We wake up in the morning and we eat and we have to get drunk. And the sexual immorality and the alcoholism just went hand in hand, right? I would get drunk and I would look for a girl that I could sleep with. And they were married to each other. There was this demonic covenant almost that they made together in my heart that drinking meant sleeping with women. And I wanted to sleep with women and I wanted to get drunk. So I did them both. I would get drunk almost every day. I was always looking to go to the club, always looking to go out, go to a party, find out what's happening on campus, get drunk, and find a girl that I could sleep with. That became my life during my freshman year in college. Now, me and my friends were in the music program at our school. Some of us were rappers, some were producers, some were engineers. So that almost amplified the kind of party lifestyle that I was living. We were performing at clubs and bars and
Father God, this can get really stressful really quick. So there's a piece that looks equivalent to one of the pieces that I already assembled, and this one is actually like really backwards, and it doesn't make any sense at all. God, not only do I pray for sanctification, not only do I pray for guidance, and not only do I pray for, just a stress-free environment right now, I pray for understanding and wisdom through this. God, I pray that you continue to guide me through what is going on right now, and it just seems like really weird. I don't understand what's going on. I know that it could be just the way I'm thinking, my perspective of the thing, but I just ask that you provide clarity through this situation that's going on right now, according to these pieces that I'm trying to put together. It's just a little weird. In Jesus' name, amen. So, these are the two pieces that they're telling me to put together. And I hear it and I see it. It's just there's no hole down here. There it is. I found it. Okay, it's just covered up by this. Okay. Lord, that was so much easier. OMG, like, I was so confused. Like, as soon as I turned this around, I seen it so clearly. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Wow, how you come through, bro? How you come through? So, Micah! Micah! Micah, what are you doing? No, give me. Girl. Stay out of there. Come here, Micah. Bro. Yo, I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. Come here. Come here. This way. Careful, though. Careful. Slowly. Girl. Shaita. Cheyenne. You're going to have to come pick this up because we're not about to do this. We're not about to do this together. No. No. We're going to leave this right here and you're going to come in the room with me. No, I'm not doing that. Come in here with me. Come on. Slow down. Slow down. I just want you to, hey, listen. Baby. Hi. I missed you. OMG, I haven't seen you in such a long time. OMG. But listen, I'm gonna close this door. And you're gonna stay in here with me. Okay. Look at you, got ashes on your feet or something. Lord. Father God, bless this baby, bless this home, bless this household. I just need you to, hey, I'm talking to you, listen. I need you to calm down, okay? Hey, listen. I know you want to have fun, but listen, talk to me. Talk to me. Okay, listen. There's a lot of stuff over there that's going to hurt you. And you might get hurt, and I don't want you to get hurt, okay? I'm going to let you down. Hey, I'm trying to talk to you. I'm going to let you down. I'm going to let you down to have fun, but I need you to stop if I tell you to stop, okay? And I need you to, no, if I tell you to no, okay? And also, just be careful in here because there's a lot of stuff that you could fall and hurt yourself, okay? So just be careful. You can play on the bed and all that stuff, but I'm just gonna set a little things up so you don't hurt yourself. So you don't get hurt and step on nothing with your feet. Be careful. I'm gonna pick this stuff up so you don't hurt your feet. And put it over here. But this stuff is really, really dangerous for you, okay? Careful over here, okay, Micah? You gotta be careful. See, look. See that? It can hurt you. See, look. See, that can hurt you? Be careful. Look. Be careful. Look. It hurt? No, that's not for you. That's for me. For me. That's mine. I'm gonna need that soon. So, just don't go hiding it nowhere, okay? You gonna help me? It looked like you about to help me. Thank you. Just be careful. Don't step on nothing that's gonna hurt you, okay? Uh-oh. Oh, this one. Okay, yeah, no. I was about to do something with this knife. Careful now. Just remember where your help comes from. Uh-oh. Please be careful. I know you understand what I'm saying to you. You know I'm trying to help you, right? And I know you're trying to help me too, but I don't want you crying and I don't want you in pain. Okay? Micah? Remember, God made. Micah, say this prayer with me. Heavenly Father, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today, Lord, our daily bread, our daily peace, our daily patience, our daily safety, our daily protection. Say it with me, Micah. Say, God, I love you. Oh, I need that one. You can have this one. I need this one. I did that one. See, look, this is how I did it. I put it in here. See? See, Micah? I missed you. Where you been? You been going to school? You been going to school? I love you, Micah. And then say, Lord, thank you for protecting me and loving me. Thank you for keeping me safe. Father God, lead me not into temptation and deliver me from all evil. In Jesus' name, I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. You got into that trash out there, and that is just a mess. No, not me. Not me. Oh, thank you. You want to do it? Go ahead, put it back in there. Ooh, y'all see how I'm working? Okay, put it back. Put it back in. Look at you. Do y'all see that? Uh-oh, okay, here. OMG, I am so happy for you. Look at you. Uh-oh, let me see. Stuck? Here. I'll help you. There you go. You sure did. Wow, you did such a good job. Look at you. Y'all saw him? Look, say hi. Oh, gee. I'm screwing it in. Remember, I'm God's made. Be careful. Okay? What's next? I want to see what's next. Okay, it says to go like this. It says to put this. It said to put this. OMG, I'm so happy you're here, Micah. Careful. Yeah, like that. Mm-hmm. You did it before. Oh, you did it again! Yay! Good job! Careful, that's gonna hurt you, okay? If you start crying, just know that that hurt, okay? And that's why you're crying. Oh, that, wait, hold on. God made. That stuff is nasty, Micah. Say hi. Thank you. I don't think that piece goes there, but I think it goes something like that. Kind of like that. Alrighty. Alright, what pieces they need for that? They need C. How many C's they need? Mommy back. Micah's in here. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Why did you do that? The mess.
You can't have that stuff around kids, you know.
Huh?
You can't have that stuff around kids.
He went in the trash. There wasn't around him.
Okay. Bro, this is a little confusing. Okay, I got this. I see you. That's so you don't hurt yourself. And please don't break my drill from throwing it on the floor. Look at you. You're so funny. Okay. No, don't break my drill though. Okay? You keep on slamming it on. Oh, no, that's not how you use it. There you go. Careful. Careful. Okay, good job. We're not gonna pick that up. No, buddy. Okay, I think I understand a little bit more. I'm gonna try to get C. Where the drills at? I mean the screws at. Micah, you gonna go with your mom if you do it again? Okay, you're not gonna go with your mom. I'm not gonna kick you out. But please, the drill, you're gonna hurt yourself. Yeah, see, I told you. See? I told you. I said be careful. You okay? No. Okay? I told you. You didn't want to. You said, Don't touch. No. Micah, no. Listen, I said no. No. Don't do it again. No. See, when you talk to the kids and they see for themselves, that's what's important. They gotta see for themselves sometimes. I see. You see? I told you.
He's helping you?
Yeah.
Dinner's ready, honey. You helping? Can you give that to her? You come eat? Show me what
Let me
you're
see,
doing.
Micah. Can I have it? Can you go eat, please? He want to show you.
What do you want to show me, Papa?
Go ahead, do it. But don't touch that drill. No, it's turned off. But I told you you're gonna hurt yourself, and you still hurt yourself twice.
He did?
Yeah. No.
Come on, Papa. Let's go eat. You're gonna love the new bed soon. You're gonna be on it, jumping.
You can't be jumping in here. You gotta go eat. Here you go. But I need this. Can I have it, please? And thank you, please. Thank you.
Let's go eat. It's time for food. It's time for dinner. Oh my God.
You gonna come back, Micah?
Yeah, he'll come back. Oh, sit down.
look at me now. Look at me now. Hey, look at me now. Okay, I seen another one of these. Okay. This can help out a lot.
Pockets. My favorite hack to make the holidays memorable? Matching jammies from Old Navy. We're gonna do our picture. That is crazy. Can't go wrong with a plaid moment. Shop Old Navy now.
This ad won't make you quit vaping.
But knowing you'll feel less anxious or stressed might. 90% of young people who quit vaping report feeling less anxious, stressed, or depressed. Free services can help, like live quit coaches, personalized quit plans, and quit meds like patches or gum. Free support is ready when you are. Text START to 36072 or visit mass.gov/quitvaping.
And parties, so that was exposing me to even more alcohol and more women, and I'm kind of elevated at this point because I'm rapping and they see me on the stage and all of the things that come with that, right? So I'm diving head first into depravity. By the end of my freshman year, I dropped out of college, but I remained in that town. It's a small town, and there's nothing to do there really but party and have sex. And that was kind of the mantra of that small town, that we do drugs, we get high, we drink, and we have sex. That was just kind of how the environment was there. So that's what I did. I was no longer going to school. I got a job at Taco Bell, and I'm getting my paychecks and just using them to pay my rent and get something to drink. That was my life. And I lived that life for a couple years. 18 and 19 years old, this is the life that I'm living. And it got to the point where I'm drinking so much that now I'm starting to get in trouble with the law, right? I'm going to these parties and I'm drunk and I get into fights with guys, or I bump into a girl and her boyfriend wants to fight me now, or whatever the case is, and I'm fighting now at this point. And that invites the law in, right? And I start getting arrested and going to jail. I go to this party because my friend is getting picked on by a group of guys, and we go and we fight these guys, and I get arrested. I go to jail for a night. And I got released the next morning, and I got a court date. But again, I'm young and I'm stupid, and I only care about partying at this point. So I completely ignored the court date. I'm like, I'm just going to continue living my life. I went to jail for the night. It's cool. It was almost like a bragging thing, right? Like, oh, yeah, we got in a fight and we went to jail. Like, let's move past that. So I skip my court date and I get a warrant for my arrest. Now, this is a small town that I am living in. Everyone knows everyone. Even the cops, right? They knew us by name. So it gets to a point where the cops come to my house looking for me, right? Because I have this warrant for my arrest. And on the day that they come to my house looking for me, I'm preparing to throw a party. So people are already showing up at my house. People are already drinking. And the cops show up and they're knocking on the door and they're asking, hey, where's TJ? Where's TJ? We're looking for TJ. So I'm up in my room getting dressed and I hear the commotion. I hear that the cops are at the front door. I hear that they're looking for me. So I kind of slide out down the steps and out the back door and I run into the alley and my friend is parked back there, and I get in her car and we speed off and she takes me over to her house. Now, by this point, my world is starting to crumble because I was raised in a good Christian home. I knew what it meant to live life with purpose. I knew what it meant to live for something more than the desires of the flesh. I knew what a good life looked like, and my life was the complete opposite of that at this point in my life. I mean, I was broken and I was empty and struggling to hold on. It was one thing to be getting drunk all the time. It was another thing to be sleeping around all the time. But now the cops are looking for me. Like, what would my parents think? What would my grandmother think? How did I get here? How did I get here? So I go to this friend's house and I call my mother and I say, I don't know what's happening to me, but my life is falling apart. I don't know why God is letting this happen. Of course it was me, but I just didn't understand how I had gotten to that place. So I'm talking to my mom. I say, hey, can you just please pray for me? And I'm sobbing on the phone. Just pray for me, because I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what I'm going to do. And my mother is calm on the phone, and she's encouraging me. She's just saying, hey, it'll be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm going to pray for you. Now, of course, she had been praying for me my entire life, and her faith was already founded in Christ. So she knew that she raised me in the Lord. She knew that it was just a matter of time that
Yes,
Christ
ma'am.
would pull me into Himself. She knew. She had
That's
faith.
okay.
Even when I didn't have faith.
Did you tell him I'm upstairs working?
So I hang up with her.
Because I forgot that I didn't give him my number.
Right back to the
And we just,
I
forgot that I didn't give him my number, and we only been speaking on Facebook, but then I accidentally gave him my number.
At the same time, I would get
because I was like, what's your number? And I put it in to see if he texted
me.
me.
All of my friends about how Jesus
And then I realized that, oh, you didn't text me. I texted him to see if he texted me. Like, no, you didn't text me.
Of course, they're like, TJ,
but that was,
you're drunk. You can barely stand up. But you're telling me that Jesus loves me and He died for me.
No.
My bosom friends would go back and forth and we would debate.
We barely even spoke.
But there were two things at war in my heart. I knew truth.
Of course He did. That's how all the foreigners act. They act like. If they're from America, they won't say that. And he don't even know me. He don't even know who I am.
When you was babysitting, he kept trying to get me to give you your number.
That don't make no sense because he already had my Facebook. Yeah, he already had my Facebook. When I went to London, he was texting me, but obviously the time difference, I couldn't respond and talk to him. So no, so he stopped hitting me up. I noticed for about maybe 2 weeks now. He has not said anything to me. These pieces next. But it goes on number 1. Okay, I'm gonna put this piece. I'm gonna put this piece over here. You don't like him? You don't like him?
I think he's not hungry.
Oh, no, he's not ugly, right?
No, because he was eating all there.
He was what?
Huh?
He was what?
He was eating rice all day.
No, I'm talking about Lou. You don't like Lou? Lou, this guy, the security guy.
Downstairs?
Yeah.
That's his name?
I think so.
I didn't know his name.
You don't like him? You don't think he's attractive?
He's okay, not my type.
What's your type? What's your type, girl? Hey. Hey, little baby. I know him from the outside. What do you mean from outside of work, up here?
Yeah, when I was looking for an apartment, him and I looked at the same apartment together.
You said him and you was what?
We were apartment searching, and there was an open house. Him and I looked at the same apartment. She really got me what I wanted.
Okay,
Do you see any signs of LED lights somewhere?
No.
Micah really lights up in you.
He does.
But he never helped me.
He's doing a good job.
He never helped me though with nothing.
Hey, then, about to say, hey, you're gonna hurt yourself. Mommy said it's bath time. Just be careful over there. I don't want you to hurt yourself. Don't go nowhere with that, okay? I need it. It's not funny. No, it's not funny. Yeah.
You said that I'm grabbing you for your nap. I'm for your nap.
Get that out your mouth. Get that out your mouth. Don't put it in your mouth. You're gonna hurt yourself. You gonna take a bath? It's time to go bye-bye. Let's go. I said no, and you want to still do it? Go bye-bye. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Go ahead. Go bye-bye. Nope. Let's go. Go to the bath.
All right, I'm ready for you, my child.
You like bath time now?
Yeah, you do. He be trying to get it by himself, girl.
Yeah?
I gotta save him before he busts his teeth on that.
So, did I already have A open or something? No, I didn't. Dang, I should have went to the bathroom before she did that. Ugh. Oh, that's A. Where does it go again? Oh, okay. I gotta go to the bathroom. God. I peeled skin. I was about to say, where the ingredients at? Me. Okay. So 22 is gonna be like that. Okay. Wait. How does it hook on? Obviously, it don't really matter which one of these is 20. Wait, this one is 22, but that don't really matter. It only matters about if the thing is you go like this. To 23. AA. I'm gonna do this. Should I do it on the floor? I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm not about to stand up. I'm gonna sit down because like my uterus I think is folded and I'm not feeling that I gotta go to the bathroom right now. But ow! Shoot. I didn't got up for no reason. I'll stand up for a bit because it's much easier than scooting around.
accidentally give him my number. How could I do that? Maybe it's for a purpose. It has to be for a reason. Like, I'm gonna have to talk to him because he's already showing signs of somebody who just wants to have sex, or who is like making sex a idol. That's why I didn't care if that he didn't hit me up in 2 weeks. He's Haitian, so he's like straight off the boat or something because he still got the accent. Oh, my phone's dying. How long I been on here? For an hour? I'll show y'all, I guess I'll show y'all later on a short. See y'all later. Love you.